California is on a road to collapse, but not for the reasons you think. One looming issue is that California is on the brink of pension crisis. It is worth stating that a pension fund is completely separate from government money. The contributions have already been deducted and put into a fund. That money is invested. Then what usually happens is federal, state, and local governments put their greedy hands into the pot and borrow money, the same as Social Security. The government has borrowed most of the money from both programs and now they want to end them, but this is not California's biggest problem. Let's be honest. California's roads are absolute trash. No one knows what the gas taxes are going towards anymore, as the roads are clearly not being maintained. California recently had a major gas tax hike, and they decided to expand a couple freeways instead of fixing the damaged roads. Research shows that expanding highways width doesn't decrease the highway congestion. California is just throwing money away that could be going towards road maintenance, but it is not the abysmal roads that will bring California down. Then there is the issue of homelessness. The number of homeless people living is growing like wildfire. A lot of this has to do with the astronomical cost of living. Many cannot afford a place to live. For those who are not homeless, California's high rent leaves many people one crisis away from financial ruin. But this will not result in California's demise. And of course, there's the issue of illegal immigration. Jerry Brown, one of the main driving forces of this problem, has clearly lost his mind. There seems to be no end to his dilemma, as California is home to numerous sanctuary cities. As a side note, no one ever mentions the numerous American businesses that hire illegal immigrants. Not a day goes by without a story about an immigration and customs enforcement raid or some business that employs undocumented workers. Although illegal immigration might seem like the problem that delivers the death blow to California, it isn't. There is actually a bigger looming crisis than the issues just mentioned. Yes, an issue even more pressing than illegal immigration. Yes, this is rarely brought up. It has to do with Silicon Valley. Let me explain. California is dependent on Silicon Valley to pump up its economy through both corporate tax rates and income tax rates. Unfortunately for California, the truth about Silicon Valley is that it's not profitable. These popular companies such as Lyft are posting non-profits while simultaneously being massively valued. Companies such as Amazon, Twitter, and Uber have these massive values due to the IPOs, and this is a trend that is continuing with no end in sight. It is worth noting that Lyft, a company based in San Francisco, filed paperwork to become a public company in March of 2019 with a valuation of $15 billion, but the ride-sharing company is still highly unprofitable. In fact, Lyft had a net loss of nearly $1 billion last year. To put it another way, Lyft lost about $1.47 for every ride it gave in 2018. Lyft's main competitor Uber, which is poised to file for an IPO as well, is also posting lossless on a per-trip basis, although it's difficult to estimate how much since Uber includes Uber Eats deliveries and Uber Freight shipments in addition to taxi and scooter rides in trip estimates. Uber's valuation is expected to be anywhere from $76 billion to $120 billion. Companies that create zero profit are continuing to pop up. California is the home to many of these companies. There is a small group of investors that are able to invest in these companies. As long as these investors have the money, these companies will survive. These investors are taking on a high risk in hopes that these companies will turn a profit. One reason these tech companies are posting no profit because they're spending anything they earn as soon as possible. It's all acquisition and buying new infrastructure. They are boosting the economy because all their employees are earning six-figure salaries and paying it into California's high state taxes. This small amount of investors and overvaluation of these companies is precisely what happened in the dot-com bubble burst of 2000. In 2018, 81% of US companies were unprofitable in the year leading up to their public offerings, according to the data from Jay Ritter, an IPO specialist and finance professor at the University of Florida. As of right now, we've surpassed the year 2000 percentage of unprofitable tech companies. California is being supported by companies that more likely will collapse. These companies must somehow miraculously turn a profit, or in the very near future, the investors will grow weary of funding these companies. When these investors stop funding these companies, there will be no more money. These companies will collapse and take California with them. This is a very serious situation. And one more thing, one largely overlooked statistic in the per capita drug usage. As long as drug use remains high in the Silicon Valley, Bay Area, tax revenues will remain stable. If drug use ever falls, people's minds will become clear and rational. The mass exodus from the Silicon Valley, Bay Area is being impeded by the drug use. You see, there are companies actually making a profit in this area. The drugs prevent people from realizing that a state such as Texas, with far lower taxes and far fewer business regulations, is much better for business. Austin, Texas is becoming the new tech hotbed, by the way. Many of California's talent pool are relocating to Austin, Texas. The sudden migration of these companies away from California would be catastrophic.